Welcome to ConnectHer, the Bold Life podcast, where we have real, raw conversations about life, leadership, innovation, faith, and economic empowerment. I am your host, Kristy Jackson. I'm an author, speaker, and founder of the ConnectHer Collective and SheCan Connect Global Network. This season, we're going even deeper. I'm so excited to be sitting down with world changers, innovators, and barrier breakers who are living out loud and leading with soul. So wherever you are, driving to work, journaling in your quiet corner, or about to make a bold move in your business, I want you to know this space is for you. And guess what? You don't just have to listen. You can be a part of the movement. Support the show by sewing into what we're building. If this podcast inspires you, please share it with someone or consider financial support via Venmo or Cash App at ConnectHer Global. Every dollar helps us keep this real, raw, and necessary conversation going. And it helps us expand the reach to even more women around the globe. And if you are a brand or a business that aligns with Bold Purpose, we're inviting Season 2 sponsors. So let's connect and collaborate. And you can email us at connectherkj@gmail.com. ConnectHerkj@gmail.com. Now let's dive in. So we have Kate Bergstrom. She is the artistic director of the Repertory Theater of St. Louis.
Yeah.
So now that we have the formalities out of the way,
Yes.
we can get back to our conversation about the power of LA, which draws a lot of creatives as like the mecca. So what is it about the creative energy of a space like to just draw you in? It's kind of like you have to be with your people to let that gift kind of rise up out of you. You know what I mean?
100%. Or you have to be inspired.
Yes.
Or and you have to be inspired. You have to be in and among the civic and the social and the economic infrastructure of a place and say, what is it about here? And why am I here? And then with the others around you go, okay, what are we doing? What are we making? And that's in LA. I think you get a lot of that, but I think you get a lot of that in St. Louis too, which is exciting.
And I love that because it's so important to talk. I guess I kind of want to go back, right? Because these type of conversations with like arts leaders and creatives, it really taps into my heart because I am like I say I'm like a creative, but I am a creative.
You are a creative, yes.
I am a creative. I do not express myself artistically, I guess you should say, by singing anymore. I actually met my husband singing in a band. Very few people. No, I shouldn't say a band. I was singing with a gospel group.
Wow.
And my husband is a drummer. He's a musician.
Amazing.
So I met him singing in a group. My mother is a opera singer. She was Serena in Porgy and Bess.
Oh my God.
So I have grown up from a family of musicians and creatives. But I do not understand the rage to create that is innate in a creative, where they are willing to sacrifice all to live in their cars,
whatever it takes,
to eat ramen noodles, to go to these auditions and not be selected. And Kate, I can't. And I'm passionate, but I gotta have some assurance.
Oh yeah,
right.
Structured life around you,
just a little bit. So, why are you passionate about supporting that community through your work at the Rep?
Oh, I love this. Going back to supporting that community, and also because I am one of them.
Yes. You gotta be, right?
I understand, like you said, in my bones. You said the rage to create. And it's just in your gut. It's in your bones. And it's like you are living with it coming out of your fingertips and your mouth and your hair and your ears because there's no other way. It's who you are. And it brings about, like it brought about you with your mom, it brings about such extraordinary people and connections. And here, now that I get to support others who are also creating incredible work and uplift the creation of communities that create work together, I think about those communities show by show and with the rep.
Yeah.
I go, there's nothing better when you're trying to inspire joy and life force.
Mm-hmm.
It's what, to me, brings the je ne sais quoi that makes life worth living.
Yes.
To a space,
Absolutely.
to a community.
Well, and I think institutions, the alignment of institutions like the rep,
Mm-hmm.
right,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to nurture that talent, because let's be real, it is a staple in our community.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. And I agree. All of the amazing arts organizations are so crucial, not only to the social and the je ne sais quoi cultural feeling of St. Louis, but also economically.
Yes.
Also, in terms of the connective tissue of people meeting and feeling the vibrancy of wanting to live somewhere and live a good life. I feel like it's part of the bones of St. Louis in an exciting way.
And I'm glad that you're saying that. And I know that a part of the creative work that you're doing is advocacy, right? Because when you think about the list of creative places and cities where you can thrive as an artist, as actor, a musician, I don't know where St. Louis is on that list.
Oof,
but it is unfortunate because if you look at our history, we have the foundation of the jazz, of arts. So many artists were born in St. Louis,
Oh
right?
my God.
I just learned that Paramount Pictures had an office here in St. Louis where film production was happening. We have arts is at the genesis of who we are in St. Louis culturally.
100%.
So I don't get the disconnect.
Well, what's so funny, right, is that you're talking about disconnect and also the sense of the narrative of St. Louis.
Yeah.
And for me, actually, what's so exciting, astonishing is when I have artists coming from out of town who have not been here, they go, I've been missing this? What is that? I want to come back. Maybe I could build a life here, because they're so inspired by the community and the energy here. Specifically, I think about too, the rep is now devoting 50% of the artistic slots a year to St. Louis affiliated artists.
Wow.
Which is, I say this as a commitment, but also it's been innate for the past year since I've been here. We've had St. Louis artists in our work in a deep way.
Yeah.
Because what we found is some of the most extraordinary world-class artists do make their home here because there is a great low barrier to entry. Not prohibitive housing prices, not prohibitive traffic, as we're talking about LA.
Yes.
You meet the other creatives and have opportunity to intermingle with them. And you're able to create partnerships that are driven by yes, rather than, I don't know, because St. Louis is passionate about St. Louis.
Absolutely. And we're passionate about the arts.
Yes.
Because we love to support. I mean, just think about the Muni, right?
Oh my
Tony
God,
Warren.
love.
But I mean, the rep, to have the rep position in Webster Grove's community, how lucky, right? To be able to just kind of walk down the street and be able to, experience some of the shows. But it's so centrally located in the city anywhere. You can reach it from north, south, east,
Anywhere.
and west. From anywhere. So what is, how long has the rep been around?
Oh, what a great question, Kristy. We are about to hit, not this season, but next season is our 60th season. So we've been around for over 60 years.
That's huge in itself.
I mean, and I say over because it takes time to create something as well. The germ of the idea of the rep happened with the Loretto nuns and the Webster University students and professors, and this idea of bringing theater out into the community with the Imaginary Theater Company project. It was built on that passion, that desire, like you're saying, to create storytelling experiences that would enrich people's lives.
Yeah.
It's had this huge roller coaster of existence. And for me, we're priding ourselves now on three things, which is relevance, excellence, and extraordinary experience at the rep.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because tell us a little bit about what the day-to-day looks like with your role.
Oh, great.
But my question is around innovation. Like, how do you continue to innovate? Because you have to change, right? I mean, and the arts is a good way that truly reflects our culture, highs, lows, and in between. And so just through your pillars that you mentioned, I know that had to come from some conversation around evolution of our work. So just curious about, how you serve in your role and how you guys have approached that.
Great question around my role, and also that it takes a team, right, to innovate together.
Yes.
And that the rep is a big ship, so you want to make sure we're all moving together. We don't want to hit any icebergs. those 3 tenets came actually from my time here when I first visited as a director, before I even came on as the artistic director, and seeing what made impact. What made impact when I was directing a show and thinking about how to position it in such a way that would invite audiences in and make them feel a part of the experience. And now innovation in my role is really around, I'd say 2 things. One, augmenting all of our shows with experience and making sure that from the moment you step out of your car or you're buying a ticket online, you're having an elevated, exciting, surprising, great experience. And then 2, making sure that everything you're seeing on our stages or in our community when we're bringing our shows out is excellent and is surprising in the most wonderful way, is something that you're going to remember and feel proud that you were a part of, that you went and saw.
Yeah. I mean, I had the most immersive experience when we met.
Yes.
With a behind the scenes interactive dinner. We got to be on the stage, see the sets with just a dynamic group of amazing women leaders. It was such a special moment. But, you know, what I will say is that people do business with you because of you. And so I want to share that I just really enjoyed meeting you as an individual. I feel like we had a really good connection, you know, just kind of getting to know each other.
So good.
And that truly makes a difference with leadership, right?
Yes.
Like being approachable, being welcoming. And, you know, we kind of get to the business after we get to the bond, get past the bond in a way.
Oh, my God.
You know?
Yes.
So, I mean, how do you make sure that you are making those connections to position yourself to be able to share the story about, you know, what's happening with the rep and invite people in?
Again, I mean, what, are you a professional at this? Yes. Hello. The exciting thing that you're also speaking about is relationship, which to me is the heart of what we do, at the heart of our art. Theater is a live, relationship-based art form. You are interacting. Your hearts, after 90 minutes, your heartbeats are syncing up with one another, audience and performers. For me, building those relationships and not just staying in our doors, but going out into the community and supporting other folks' endeavors. Want to uplift my partner, Danny Williams, is so great at going out, meeting, seeing, enjoying people's different missions that they're on, and then inviting them in ways that are very specific to what might resonate when they come into our doors.
Yes.
Like I go, okay, I get these extraordinary women together. What's going to be something meaningful and innovative that's going to make them go, this was a memorable, unforgettable night. That's what we're always about. And as a leader, as you know, I think it's so meaningful to find genuine, authentic time to be and to be present and to allow yourself to be surprised and delighted by the person across from you. And that's what theater has taught me, and one of the best gifts of leadership I hope to pass down to others.
Well, I would say that, you know, you're doing a great job of that, right? Tell us your story, I guess your journey of like, because did you say you lived in New York?
Yes.
Okay. And now you're in St. Louis.
Sure.
Right? So people might hear that and say, well, New York is where all the bright lights are. It's the big city, right? So we're fortunate that you are here and that you have that passion because, again, theater to me is like the arts is the universal connector.
Oh, yeah.
So it's important to have that opportunity and access no matter where you live in the country. But, you know, tell us about Kate. Were you an actress, an actor before you became a leader?
You caught me. I
You
sure
like
was.
how I said that? And see, those that are listening can't see how I shimmied my shoulders. When I said,
shimmied.
"You're an actor?"
And I went, oh no, she's right on the trail. I sure was, Christine.
Yes.
Let me tell you, I started my theater journey 1,000 million years ago, back when in middle school.
Okay.
Our theater teacher, like my friends, they all were just drawn to this wonderful, fabulous theater teacher. Like you said, sometimes it's about the individual. It's about that energy. It was like, I'm doing a production of Peter Pan. So all these femme-identifying folks were all trying out for Wendy. And I'm giving it my best shot. Meanwhile, I'm like 100 feet taller than everyone. I can't sing. And she took me aside after. She said, you know, and I was sort of a little bit sad. I was like, I know I'm not going to get this role. It's fine. I'll figure out. I'll be a tree. And she said, have you thought about auditioning for Captain Hook? And like, I just saw your eyes go,
Okay.
My eyes went, and I went, oh, theater? I can be literally anything. She saw in me the part that I don't let out very, very meaningfully in performative venues. And all of a sudden that part blossomed and turned into me becoming a theater person. Flash forward to after being a professional actor for a hot minute in Los Angeles, enjoying time in the performing arts there, getting to meet so many amazing people, having a couple of mentors really say, you should take directing seriously. And I was teaching, I was really enjoying leadership and mentorship, and found myself hungry to take a chance on that level of storytelling professionalism. Applied for grad school, and I went to Brown and went across the country to the East Coast. Very cold. And fell from there in love with directing and have never looked back. So coming to St. Louis was actually a real coup for me, because I also have around 15 years ago something written in my final year of undergrad where I said, by 15 years after this moment, my real dream is to be a leader of a regional theater.
Oh, wow.
Which is so wild because
you manifested that.
I did. And some people are like, I want Broadway. Yeah, I'd love Broadway. Yes.
Yeah.
Love the TV film. Great. Love this, that. I love all of that. And for some reason, to me, it's about those intangible connections that uplift a community that theater can help.
Yes.
Bolster.
In so many ways, economically. I mean, just education as a pathway. Because I wanted to ask you that story because it really helps. If I'm just imagining young folks that are kind of listening, how can I make this a career?
Exactly.
When we talk about the arts, we always lean to like the right brain side of it, like the creative expression of it. But you don't often hear like the professional journey, like the education, and because it's a viable career.
100%.
Yeah.
And for any young people listening, and people who aren't
in
young,
general,
but
right.
and they are like, I want to switch I was just watching this comic named Bridget Everett, who's famous in New York for really starting to hit the big time when she was 42, 43.
I love that.
I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
It's not only a viable career, it is a creative, viable career where maybe you didn't realize you have an exact skill set that some arts organization needs. Maybe it is the space between your right and left brain where you're able to organize amazing events. Maybe you are that mathematically minded, brilliant financial whiz who loves musical theater and is able to see and connect the dots between expenditures and the quality of what's on stage. There are positions for you in the arts. And people go, I want to kit my kids away. I have been very fortunate to find opportunities in the arts throughout my life, whether it be in education, in regional theaters, commercial spaces, you name it, because really it's a part of everything we do.
It is.
And I will say, Kristy, the most meaningful part of this for those who are not in arts or nonprofits, who are in businesses, I worked with a consulting company for the past years before I even got this job, where I was doing leadership and not quite public speaking, but speaking to inspire, training with corporate leaders who were looking to tell their story in a more meaningful way.
Well, storytelling is the foundation of it, right? I mean, I'm just kind of thinking about, as you're saying this, the through line of creative expression that shows up in any career.
Exactly.
And it is the communication piece.
It's
right?
the communication piece.
I mean, that's really what it is. It's like the storytelling. We work with entrepreneurs, and pitching is a part of your telling the story about your business.
Oh, yeah.
And when you look at those competitions, if you've ever seen Shark Tank or anything like that, there's some theatrics that's involved in getting that right?
It's
And
all theatrics.
It's all
You have to put your money where your mouth is, but
absolutely, you have to have your data, and
you gotta have it.
But the passion has to come through in how you're communicating.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just, for anyone that's listening that feels like this has nothing to do with me, I'm not trying to go see a play on a stage. If you have any team members that you want to build a better culture within your team, if you want to improve communication within your team, I mean, this is an avenue for that.
Absolutely. And reach out to me, because this is something we're starting at the Rep, and to find opportunities for folks.
Really?
Yes. It's something I feel passionately about with my former colleagues at Stand and Delivers, the organization I worked with for a long time. That we're looking to come back and not only give free opportunities to nonprofit leaders throughout the country and globe. They just did a big leadership summit in Munich, actually, but to give this moment of up-leveling your story, up-leveling your presence, your charisma, your confidence, so that what you do, which might be the next thing to save the world, doesn't get lost.
So good.
Right?
So good.
I guarantee you a story somewhere, somehow got you to where you are.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, just the moment of, I'm thinking about like the final bow, right? The moment where you have someone applauding you, in that life. Like, to have the opportunity to just be applauded for who you are and for expressing yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just a snippet of a moment that I wish everybody could experience.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, me too.
Because people act out because they don't feel seen, they don't feel loved, they don't feel empowered.
They feel acknowledged.
They don't feel acknowledged. And just to be able to have that moment where you are fully appreciated. We can learn something from theater.
Thank you.
For life. I mean, it's a part of life, but we can learn something for life from theater. You know?
Leaders, what you just said, Kristy, is so smart. When was the last time you took one moment to step back and go,
yes,
to one of your team members?
Yes.
Where you took and said, I saw you. I see what you did. I see the effort you put into that. I'm not saying what you did was perfect or not perfect or what have you, but to acknowledge is going to build trust 100 times faster than any other next step that you take as a leader.
Well, and even the opportunity to reinvent yourself. Like, I mean, we as women struggle. I was talking with another guest about AI, and she was saying that, when she first started using AI, it's almost like it was that secret because she felt badly because it was helping her do things easier. And we as women feel badly. It's like we're taking a shortcut when we find tasks and tips that help us to perform easier, which with the time that we get back, we're probably going to end up doing
totally.
Somebody else.
It's like just the next 20 other things.
Exactly. Anyway, but we don't accept the freedom that we have to reinvent ourselves, And like, that's an opportunity that I see too through like the artistic experience. You could be Captain Hook, for goodness sakes, if you wanted to be, right?
Oh my God. And reinvent. And it doesn't mean that you are inextricably changed forever into this some being, but that to know when I'm hearing what you're saying is to know that you have the capacity to do a lot more than you may be limiting yourself.
Absolutely.
To do. That's what I'm hearing, and I love it.
It is, right? It relates to like making pivots in life.
Totally.
It relates to career exploration.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've worked in education forever, right? What if I wanted to be an artistic director? I'm creative. I know how to lead. I'm organized. But that's probably something I wouldn't even think that I would even explore. But we can reinvent ourselves if we want to, right? That this is just a good reminder for me.
Good reminder.
For this conversation, right? It's a spark to help you realize that you have that freedom to be what you want to be in this life.
Because that's so meaningful to hear that, because that's what I hope folks take away from any experience in a theater, not just the joy of having a great time, but the capacity to imagine something more or different than they thought possible.
Yeah.
What you just said, sometimes it's the pivot, sometimes it's also reminding yourself it's a story. Meaning, what's the story that the I can't that's standing in your way? what's the story of the, oh, well, I don't do that. I've never done that. I can't. That's stopping you from saying, but look at all the things I do or have done or can do.
Yeah.
Aren't those really relevant to me potentially being an artistic director? Maybe that's exactly what that organization needs right now.
So good.
It took me doing that. I mean, I had to really say, and as a woman growing up, as a femme-identifying person, I went, even to be a director.
Yeah.
All of my
mentors. I can imagine you're underrepresented in that scope, right?
Significantly.
Okay.
Yes, in that scope. Significantly.
And in the arts still, right? I mean, that's a space where women probably would gravitate, or we would perceive that women would gravitate to, but still underrepresented as directors in that space.
Oh,
so that's male-dominated.
Very male-dominated still to this day. And you can look, there's a wonderful organization that puts out something called The Count, which basically says how many female, gender nonconforming, male, different ethnicities, different ages, folks are leading, whether directing plays, having written a play, leading an institution. And women, I think, God, in 2023, it was something like we're 15% of artistic leaders, artistic directors of theaters throughout the country. I'm going to get that statistic wrong, but it was close. It was close enough that at the time I went, well, if I don't change my story, how do I expect this story to ever change?
Yes. Oh, I love that. Because what I hear is representation matters.
It does.
It matters. So I'm very curious, right? Like with your work at the Rep, there's a huge opportunity to see our lives played out on the stage, right? And so how is the Rep being inclusive with the stories and the diversity with the stories that they're telling for all of the audiences to enjoy?
I love what you're speaking to around diversity of stories and also inclusivity of not just the identity of who is on stage, but also who's writing the story, of who's leading the story. And also what I want to share too is the idea of creating storytelling experiences that are hilarious, very specific, maybe to a time, to a place, like we're doing a 1920s budding sort of rom-com, but in their bones that
I have my tickets, by the way.
Yes!
Thank you for the invite. I cannot wait.
Yes, to the cottage. It's hilarious. And for me, I go, it's like, okay, that's not my exact life on stage, right? Or anyone's life, but there are diversity of bodies, of ages, of gender identities, of ethnicities on that stage who are telling this story, which literally it made me laugh out loud on the page. So it's going to make me laugh out loud on the stage and finding their way in a way that no one else could. And that, to me, only enriches and what makes live theater so exciting.
Oh, my God.
So what you're also saying about the diversity, too, is I go, that's where the wanting to make sure we represent and hold space for amazing world-class local artists on our stage. I want that. I want ethnic, racial, gender diversity in, because it just makes the work more excellent. To me, I go, representation matters because it is what enriches a story.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in seeing a flat story that's two-dimensional. Theater's about 3+ dimensions, and the spiritual dimension of how someone makes up who they are is always, in an actor, what brings that character to the next level.
It's a beautiful thing. I mean, I think that it's, if you ask me, right, there's this hierarchy of how we see individuals, those that have education, those that work in particular industries and things like that. If there were a hierarchy, I would say that people that tend to be more creative are really at the pinnacle of that peak if I were to look at a triangle. And honestly, I feel like, we tend to uplift academics in our society, and creatives are not necessarily, and I know some of this is kind of stereotypical, but I mean, we have real conversations here,
Come
right?
on, you have to.
I mean, a lot of creatives are marginalized, but I think that it is just a brilliance. If you are a person that can use your imagination to create something that doesn't exist, and I mean, when we're talking about like artists and actors, and that is magic.
It's magic.
I it just blows my mind. Like some of the vocalists and
Oh my God.
you
Your
know
mom.
what I cannot understand? Yes, my mom. But you know what I cannot fathom? How people can memorize a script, all of those words,
I love
and
that.
like express it like you actually said it.
It's you.
And we believe it. Like just
that wonderful?
I'm a processor. So just like the process of like, how do you memorize? I can't even remember my grocery list some
my
days.
God.
You know?
Totally.
So it's like you have to have a different brain when you are able to do that. So I want to just show my appreciation to creatives, and I just think that there's just a special space that we should honor, that gift as a society.
Thank
so,
you.
That's just my thought on that. But I think that there's an opportunity too to nurture that next generation, of those. And how is the rep being intentional about nurturing that next generation?
Oh, what a great question about nurturing, because I also want to say to what you are sharing around uplifting academics, uplifting business professionals. I go, absolutely, yes. And that creatives can be marginalized or not seen as leaders. No offense to anyone, but I'd say the ones who are uplifted the most in the spaces of academia and business, they are the most creative. They are the innovators. They have some of that creative insight. And it's really a Venn diagram, right? A great actor to really succeed in the business has to have that savvy.
That's the truth, but we don't see it as symbiotic. We just don't see. It's like
the hemispheres
either
are so
or.
separate. And for me, the hope, if anything, is that, like we're saying, expand the possibilities rather than contract. Look at that. Instead of either or, the and, because it exists everywhere. Some of the best artists I know are academics. Some of the best, like I would say, living in St. Louis now, the food scene is amazing.
Isn't it?
Some of the greatest like chefs and foodies I've met have this huge creative side to them that I have to. I also will say, right, Kristy, that I'm innovative, I'm creative. But borrowing, stealing, and sharing the best, most exciting things happening has been also some of my bread and butter. Being like, oh, you are doing something very cool. Can we take some of that mojo you've got and try and work with it? Because, come on, that's amazing.
If you want to know how to do it well, I believe there's a book out there that says it's called like Steal Like an Artist or something like that. There's like a series of books. I'll find it and I'll make sure we put it in the notes. But it's a cute little handbook. But there's nothing new created under the sun.
No. We're taking and I go. One of my favorite directing books is actually a book about architecture. Yeah.
What?
It's written about different basic principles taught in a first level like architecture class at a school.
Help us make that connection, Kate, because I don't see it.
Great. It's something similar, Kristy, as like as two squares next to each other touching or touching in this way are like less interesting than this visually. And when I look at staging on stage, I'm like, oh, why isn't that moment working? Oh, I have these two squares lined up in this funny way. Or one thing said simply is more powerful than 20 things said overwrought.
Yes.
As a director, I have to go, aha, what's the note? It's really meaningful, really.
Everything is interrelated.
Yes, exactly.
Everything is interrelated.
And to your point about nurturing, I also want to say, though, one of the great connections that we've had at the Rep is with our lifelong learning series that we have done to bring high schoolers into matinees and lifelong learners, meaning people at retirement communities and elderly care homes, into matinees for shows with talkbacks, with artists, giving behind-the-scene tours to young people and to people of every age who want to know more, and taking our imaginary theater company show out into the city, the county, 200 miles out from St. Louis, and bringing a lot of kids their first theater experience ever, for in many cases for free, in a library, something like this. The other nurturing we do is we give a lot of folks their first professional job in college or out of college at the Rep, due to our connection with Webster University and with the other universities here in St. Louis. And that leap is one of the most important for an artist's career.
Yeah.
from
Absolutely.
school into that first professional job.
Yeah. It's, as I said, my background is in education. And so I, was working in education when this whole shift with supporting the arts, happened. We were removing music classes and drama classes. And actually, I taught in gifted education.
Yeah.
And so I worked in Webster. I don't know if you knew that. I worked in Webster Groves. And I was the gifted and talented coordinator for the district.
Oh, my
and
God.
So, yes, but I oversaw the gifted fine arts program. Webster Groves was one of the only school districts in the country that had a gifted program for the fine arts.
Amazing.
So that's where I got the term "the rage to create" from,
That's
because we
amazing.
would identify those kids that they just had that creative expression, but they didn't have the technical skill in how to enhance it. Not yet. So it wasn't, I would get parents to like bring me headshots and say, my kid's been in this show and that show. And it's like, this program is not for that kid because they're getting the development that they need. These are for like those Basquiats. You know what I'm saying? Like for those kids that just can't help, but they're etching and drawing all over the place and they can't, help but do it. But how do we help them curate that into something, special and unique?
How do you harness it? Because without it, it might be changing the world. That might be the next Basquiat. This might be the brain that we've needed in St. Louis.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what do you wish that we knew as consumers of art, those supporters of art, about the value of investing in organizations like, theater companies like the Rep, or just in the arts in general? What do you wish we knew?
Well, I'd say I wish people knew so many things, but also I love that rather than just know, people can feel the value of art. I think to your point about knowing, though, it's not as quickly seen. Three things. One, that for every, say, dollar spent at a theater, you are investing a ripple of almost $16 in the local economy. By investing in a ticket, you're probably going to go to that meal, the parking, the visiting Webster Grove, seeing something else there. You are uplifting the possibility of the community and the different businesses in the community in a significant way.
Oh, wow.
So an investment in a cultural institution invests in the community in a significant way. Two, ticket prices alone don't cover the cost of paying people living wage. In nonprofit theater specifically, we are one of the theaters who's lucky enough to work with some amazing unions, mine unions, the technical unions, the actors union, the directors unions, to make sure people are paid and have the benefits they need to live well. We also don't want ticket costs to be prohibitive for folks. So I go, and I'm really going to say this on this podcast, the first two shows of a run, we call them our first looks. I am giving free tickets to anyone who needs them for these two shows, for any of our shows through the season, the entire season.
Okay,
so
Kate.
I'm just telling you this right now.
I don't mean to interrupt you,
but you can.
I need, because we're about removing barriers here, right? And we're about making real connections. And so I want you to say that again, because that sounds like that removes the barriers or the excuses for those that may have an interest in seeing a show or, coming to the Rep. So you've removed the barriers for that.
Yes, because here's the third thing, Kristy, is I know time and energy is investment. And some people go, why should I, if I don't know that play, if the theater is a space where I'm supposed to sit down and shut up, if that is the perception, if that was the initial fear, whatever it is, I want to take away the financial constraints to the reason you might not be coming, or to the reason that you feel you can't invest your time, and say, I'm giving you an open door, because not only do I want you and your opinions, your laughter, your tears, your feedback here, that is what makes theater so special. Of course, every dollar that we are able to raise, we are able to do, we are able to continue on. But every ambassador that I can raise, we are able to make the mission-driven impact that I'm hoping we can make for the rest of eternity.
I love that.
Right. And what you're saying about the barriers is really real, because especially when I was a younger person coming out of theater school, sometimes I couldn't even go see a show I wanted to see because of the cost. Not to mention the driving, the getting there, the cost of gas. what we're trying to do is do things like partner with the library. The Fluorescent Branch, we're offering a $30 ticket for folks who want a ride from and to the show. That includes the price of admission to the show, and then a professional dramaturg on the ride there and back, having conversations around the show for folks who are like, I don't want to even deal with parking, right? We're trying to find creative ways
Oh my God.
to lower that barrier, like you're saying,
This
and
is
give
a
people
full
experience.
circle experience.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, it is immersive experience because I love what you're saying about the opportunity to process it and kind of talk about like what it is that you've seen because it's beyond the entertainment value.
Yep. It's the processing. It's the conversation that you're going to have in the car, or it's you and your mom sharing a laugh next to each other in a seat, or you and someone you've never met having this moment of like jump scare together after. It's these intangible processes and events.
Yes.
That's what live theater can bring.
Yeah.
And for me, I go, those 2 first shows in one of our runs is the time where St. Louis is a community, a word of mouth community. I believe in our art, where I can get someone in to go, oh, I did enjoy that.
Yes.
And I'm willing to talk about it and share it and hopefully bring more folks the next time. Maybe I'm going to invest now financially, or maybe I'm just going to remember that forever because that was a really fun time I had with my best friend who had never been to the theater before.
Well, we talk about connections a lot here, and I think that this is going to be a spark that is going to create another connection that will hopefully inspire someone, as you said, to pay this opportunity forward by purchasing a ticket for someone else maybe the next time or coming back, right?
Oh, great.
So I love what I'm hearing. Can you give us a little sneak peek on what we might expect with those first couple shows? I don't know how much you can share, but we'd love to hear.
I would love to tell you a sneak peek. Well, so the reason also I'm saying this is because what people don't know about the first looks in specific. If you love a party, come to opening night. We sell opening night subscriptions now for folks because it is a party. If you're like, I want to meet and greet with the cast, I want to have a drink with them, I want to know everything and be a part of this, come to opening night. The first looks, which is so great, is if you're like, I want the BTS process. I want to see what's going on because the director, the designers, the crew, everyone is there those 2 nights zhuzhing and working the show and building the opening night event after your reactions. You are literally a part of the process, which I think is the most extraordinary part of any theater.
That is
moment.
Extraordinary. Yeah, I've seen that backstage piece, but I've never seen it adjusted based on reactions.
And that's what that's those first 2 shows. And it's also this chance for you to really go, oh my God, I'm in the theater. Maybe the playwright is in here with me. The director's in here with me. Maybe the lighting designer is in here with me. Oh, this moment on stage, I really connected with. It really made me laugh. Maybe you're literally writing that in the comments or something, or you're saying it. We have a phone where people make all these amazing, wonderful comments or tell us stories. And maybe they're literally hearing it and making an adjustment or celebrating that moment or taking it forward to the actor. Like you just don't know, but you are a part of the process those first 2 nights of a show, which is why I'm like, let's pack the house.
That is so, well, look, I'm going to be there and I'm going to bring some friends right along with me. I mean, just from the flyer, right? I was like, oh, this looks like this is going to be really cool.
Oh, yeah. Well, the first show of the year is The Cottage, too. And like I said, it is, if anyone saw or heard about, if you've seen the movie Clue, the person who adapted Clue as this hilarious romp also wrote this piece called The Cottage, which is a 1920s sexy, scandalous, like hilarious satire of an affair, beginning an affair, all at this summer cottage retreat.
This sounds like a reality show that I probably have seen.
Yes. And so I'm like, Kristy, if you're like, I've been watching Love Island.
Right. Love is Blind.
Love is Blind. Like and then you also are like, and I really love the aesthetic of like the Gilded Age, or I like, or not Gilded, but you like, I love this weird vintage, wonderful aesthetic. Mix those 2 passions together and come see The Cottage. Again, it's a little bit of murderous mystery. It's a lot of funny, provocative, sexy fun.
I love that.
And that's our first show of the main stage season. And then if you are an adventurous theater goer and you want something intimate and immersive, the thing that I'm very proud of us doing these past 2 years since I've been here, but also as part of the push for the rep to offer more opportunities for experiences. We've opened the Steve Wolf Studio series, which is our underground black box theater, which will never be set up in the same way twice.
Wow.
Where we're doing immersive, adventurous theater pieces. Our first one of the year is a gorgeous play by the writer of Moonlight, the Academy Award-winning film.
Yes.
About two brothers in a sort of battle for freedom and next steps after incarceration, all told in the lens of a dance theater piece centered on Yoruba cosmology. And it's gorgeous.
So
It's
many layers to
provocative,
that.
It's layered, and it's literally the first time in my time where we're setting the audience, Kristy, in the round, where there's a salt circle in the middle of the stage, and these gorgeous performers are going to be dancing and moving, and you're going to be right there, like in the circle with them.
Oh my God!
And then and that piece is I think moving, profound, provocative. The next series, the next piece in that series, you will be right in the round with performers who will be cooking dinner with you while also having a celebration and like a dance party in a very different way. So the immersive quality of that adventurous studio series is for those people who are like, I want that escape room. I want that weird dinner experience.
Yes!
I want the thing that I literally will never forget for the rest of my life because it was right there.
So glad we have you here telling us about all of this. This feels like good tea.
It's good tea.
This feels like good,
so glad.
good tea. Okay, all right. I am learning that this is not your mother's
No.
repertory theater of St. Louis. There is some great change happening.
And your mother will love the cottage. It will be perfect for her. And you will have a great time together. And you will have laughs you didn't know you had. And then you and your friend who maybe are like, I don't know if I even like theater, are going to come see something like The Brother Size downstairs and go, I didn't know this is theater.
So this is for all of us.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. All right. I'm here for it.
I'm here for you. I'm here for this. Just to say, ConnectHer, to me, I'm like, this is creative. This is the creative spirit flowing in St. Louis. Hello?
This is it. So as you bring up ConnectHer, she's looking at our ConnectHer cards on the table. She doesn't know what's in store for her.
Oh.
So the ConnectHer is really, we love to kind of wrap up our conversations with our ConnectHer cards. So these are cards that I created that have images on them. And oftentimes I use these for like networking, for strategic thinking, creative ideas, sparking creative ideas. And we're going to do that today. So I'm going to give you a question, and I want you to pick a card, and I want you to answer it based on what the image brings up for you. Okay?
I could not be more excited about it. I'm like, as an artist, this is the best thing that's ever happened. Okay.
Right. It's that element of surprise, right?
I'm literally like, this is our next immersive theater piece.
This is it. So I want you to, I'm going to tell you the prompt, and then I want you to pick the card, okay? So, what is the biggest lesson that you've learned in your current role that you wish you knew already?
Oh my God.
Okay? What's the biggest lesson that you've learned in your latest role that you wish you knew? Pick a card and tell us what the picture is. Everybody says that.
Oh my God.
Everybody does that. Every time they pick up a card, they're like, how did you know? Or, oh my God.
Right?
Was this planted? I promise you it's not.
It was not planted?
It was not.
There's true.
What is the card? I can't even see it.
So this card is a picture of a farm with cows on it, with a tractor, with, it's farm. And Chris, there's two things that are happening right now. One of them is on a very personal level. I don't know if you know this, but like I had my son 3 months after starting this job.
No.
So I had a baby right after starting this job, and that's like a second full-time job at the same time. My beautiful little baby, and being a mom has been a big part of this. His cows are his favorite animal. So
Really?
I was like, oh, whoa. Spiritually, I'm like, he's with me in this question. And reminds me every day, the biggest lesson that I have learned at the rep in this job that I wish I knew was that you have to cultivate and take the time and plant the seed for change, for evolution, for the next possibility to happen. It's not an overnight switch.
Yeah.
going slow and planting and nurturing is not an immediate payoff. It's a long-term payoff.
It's the long game.
And I wish I knew it. But if I could, it's the thing. See, I have to constantly remind myself of like, why it's not happening right now, right now, right now. And then someone's like, "Kate, you've been here 1 year.
Yes.
Rome wasn't built in a day, and you have to grow what you want to see."
It takes time.
Takes
and you
time.
have to give yourself grace in the process. So well said. And I believe that a lot of women in leadership can so relate to this. I mean, then you don't have to be a woman in leadership, a woman in life. Just giving yourself grace to evolve.
Oh,
right? Just giving
grace,
yourself grace
time.
to evolve and time. So good. Kate, I have truly enjoyed this conversation
Thank
with you.
you,
It's gone by
Kristy.
too fast.
No.
It's gone by too fast.
And I have to say, I'm so inspired by you, and I'm so inspired by this. And this kind of connective tissue is changing the fabric of St. Louis. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for listening. I hope that you heard something today that inspired you. I hope you learned something today that you didn't know about local theater in St. Louis.
Yes.
If people want to follow you or the Rep St. Louis, how can they connect?
So on our platforms, we're Rep STL. You can go to Instagram, follow us, and shoot us a message anytime. We will respond. I'm MX Kate Bergstrom on Instagram, or my email is right there on our website. Go to our website, email me anytime, and find us on all of the social platforms on our website to get those free first look comps, to get information about the shows, to get behind the scenes access. We will be so excited to have you.
We love that. So thank you again for tuning in to ConnectHer, the Bold Life podcast. If today's conversation hit home, which I would beg that it probably did, I would venture to say that it probably did, please share it, please tag us, and leave us a review. And if you are a bold brand that wants to sponsor this season, reach out to us at our email at info@connecther@gmail.com. Until next time, stay bold, stay grounded, and be a connector.